Hello students, welcome back. So today we will be starting with civics and we'll be looking into the first chapter of civics, which is equality in Indian democracy. Now this chapter, students, focuses mostly on equality as well as democracy. And the topics that we will be covering in this chapter includes what is democracy, universal adult franchise, what is inequality, different types of inequality, recognizing dignity, constitutional provisions that ensure equality, and some of the measures that India as a state has taken up to ensure equality and equality in other countries. Right. So democracy. Now, students, we all know that India is a democracy. But what does this mean? Right? What is democracy? So democracy, students, is a system of government where people can vote to elect their representatives, right? So where people can vote to elect their representatives. Now this is a very central feature of democracy, bache, right? This is known as universal adult franchise. What is universal adult franchise? When all citizens who are above 18, they have a right to cast their vote and choose their representative. It is known as universal adult franchise. It means that every person has one vote. One person, one vote. And each vote has equal value, right? Now, this student forms the basis of political equality in India, right? So if someone asks you that, are we politically equal? So yes, we are all politically equal because all of us, once we reach above the age of 18, we all have the right to cast our vote, and our vote has equal value. So my vote has equal value to the value of Ambani's vote, right? So that is political equality. Anyone and everyone can vote, right? So now next what we have is, students, in your books you have this a short story, right, of Kanha and Aarti. Yes. So it is the you this is the voting day, right? The voting day. And on the polling booth, there is a long line in which Kana and Aarti are standing. And Aarti suddenly sees, Aarti is a servant, right? She works in someone's house. And she suddenly sees, she looks back and she sees at the end of the line, her employer is standing along with her husband, right? So, and Kanha, similarly, he finds his ex-employers who own a shop, they are in the line too, right? So they feel happy about the fact that everyone comes to the same place, right? It does not look at uh, how much money you have when it comes to casting your vote, right? So this is political equality. But what about other forms of equality, students, right? So when Kanha and Aarti, when they come back home, they have to stand in long queues for water. They don't have electricity on a lot of days, right? They don't have money for basic healthcare and education, right? What about that? Yes, they had political equality, but what about economic and social inequality, right? So now, students, this brings me to the next part of my chapter, which talks about inequality. And it says that in spite of the equal status granted by the Constitution, millions of people whose conditions are far from equal, right? And this inequality is expressed out in a number of ways, be it economic inequality, be it caste discrimination, gender-based discrimination. So next what we have is we will be looking at these various forms of inequality separately, right? So first we have economic inequality, right? So the unequal distribution of resources. When we talk about resources here, what we mean is lack of money is the main reason for inequality. Yes. Now, due to this lack of money, people are deprived of the most basic necessities, bache. Yes. Everyone does not have the same access to the same level of education, of healthcare. People still have to wait in long queues for water. They have to travel for kilometers to fetch buckets of water, right? All places in India, we do not have electricity. Yes, these are basic necessities. Healthcare, which is unequally distributed, right? So unequal distribution of resources. Why? Because some people cannot afford it. Sadly, this is an inequality. Next, we have caste inequality. Now, caste inequality, students, is this caste-based discrimination is when people who have a certain occupation, this occupation is made hierarchical, right? This is a sad reality of Indian society, has been for uh, centuries, although now the situation is changing. But still, in rural India, you find this very much prevalent, that people are discriminated on the basis of profession and hierarchy. In which family are they born in? So someone who is born in so a shoemaker's child will be a shoemaker, or a cleaner. Throughout his life he will be cleaning waste, right? They, because they were born in a particular family. Right? And the people belonging to the lowest caste were given the term Dalit, which means broken. Now imagine someone calling out these people like they are broken. That is so derogatory. It is so humiliating. Yes. So this is caste inequality, right? Where people belonging to the lower caste are discriminated against. Yes. And this happens for generations after generations. Now, can you imagine not having the equal chance to do something for myself, to make a name for myself? These people were not given entry to the same temples. They were not given entry inside the villages. They were made to stay outside the villages, far off, right? They were not allowed, their kids were not allowed to go or sit with the same students uh, as of the higher caste. Yes, that is so humiliating, derogatory, right? So this is a form of inequality. Next, what we have is gender-based inequality. Gender-based, gender is got to do with male and female, right? So women often for long have been neglected, right? They've been neglected. People do not want to have a girl child because girls are considered to be a burden, right? A liability, while having a boy is always an asset. It is considered that. So also you have um, abandonment issues, abortion issues, dowry. Yes. Oh, and then people do not want to have a girl child. The when the child, once the child is in the womb, and if it is turned out that the child is a woman, the womb is killed, right? The child in the womb is killed just because the child belongs to a particular gender. Such dislike for the female child, students. Even later on in life, the girl is not given the same amount of chances or opportunities as in comparison to the boy child, right? This results in an uneven sex ratio. But students, you have to realize that for the society to progress, to grow, we need to have equal number of girls and boys. Yes. So this is about gender-based inequality. Next, what we have is discrimination against differently abled. Now, student differently abled are people um, who are impaired, who are handicapped, right? Uh, they can have different disabilities. But students, this is for me to explain it to you. I do not want you to be using these terms ever. So the correct usage of term is, you call these people to be differently abled, right? Or you call them to be people with special needs. Yes, so this is the word that we use, because otherwise when you call someone handicapped or whatever, this is derogatory, this is humiliating. Yes. And also it is not the right way of talking to someone. So you say that people are differently abled, or they are people with special needs, right? And now, students, the problem is that these people are often not included in the mainstream, right? They're considered, because they're considered to be different. But do they not deserve to have or own the same luxuries? Do they not deserve to have the same high paying jobs? Yes. So what do we need to do? We need to make in special provisions for them to come up as well, for them to lead happy lives, right? They are a part of our mainstream. Yes. So with this, student, I come to the next part, which is recognizing dignity, right? Now we have to recognize that all of these individuals, right, they have a right to their dignity. And this unfair treatment is a violation of their dignity. And if we want our society to progress as a country, as a nation, right, we have to, students, we have to ensure that we recognize their dignity, we consider them as equal, yes. And only when the entire society works towards the progress of the nation, we will be truly democratic, right? With this, thank you so much. I hope you've understood and enjoyed the lecture so far. We will be continuing this in the next part. Till then, note down your doubts and come back for the classes, for the Zoom session. Thank you so much.